back in the days when we used to have these computers that had these operating systems that you had to uninstall, the way we did it was we would set this computer to uninstall it overnight right before we went to bed, so that by the time we woke up the next morning, we could reinstall the new operating system, and then you'd have to put a disk in, and then you push go, and it's reading off this 5.5-inch floppy disk that's spinning really, really slow, and then all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, you come take that, it ejects it, and then you come put another disk in, and then you go do some more stuff for a while, and then you come back. So what do we learn about an operating system? Well, number one, you have to recognize it. Number two, you have to remove it. And number three, you have to replace it. But all of those steps take time. And so the problem is, what happens is we get in a hurry for the result. And we think if I try harder to produce the result without recognizing, removing, and replacing the operating system, that'll be faster. But it's not only not faster, it's slower, to the point where if that's all you ever do, you will never achieve the results you're seeking to achieve. It's not possible. Why? Because you can't run a new software on an old operating system. Are y'all tracking? Okay. So what you have to do is you have to, number one, find the beliefs of somebody who's succeeding in the arena that you want to succeed in. Okay, so in order to do that, you have to realize you weren't born believing anything. Here's a mistake people make about beliefs. Most people think they believe things because those things are true. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Most people think they believe things because they believe those things are true. So they think it because they believe it's true. But they think, they believe it because they think it's true, but they think it's true because they believe it. You can't start with belief. You have to start with truth. A good friend of mine, I got this phrase from him. I don't know where he got it. He couldn't remember where he got it from, but I'm going to give him credit for it. Joe Marfolio. Joe said to me one time, we were just having a regular conversation, and he said, Myron, I would rather have questions I can't answer than answers I can't question. I'm like, oh, snap. And I love that because the truth never has to be afraid of or hide from falsehood. So if I believe something's true, I don't have any reason to be afraid of somebody contradicting it if it's true. Why? Because there is no legitimate, real contradiction against the truth. So if somebody disagrees with something that I believe and it's true, like I believe it's true, I'm not worried about them disagreeing with it. And I can have a conversation, watch this, I can have a civil, calm, relaxed, unintimidated, and unintimidating conversation with somebody about something that I believe is true if I really believe it's true. If I'm unwilling, hey, watch me now. If I'm unwilling to have a conversation about anything with someone who disagrees with me, there's a very good possibility that I have concerns that my own beliefs might not be true. And that's why we all have to be very, very hyper intentional and intense to be very, very wary of people who attempt to win arguments and cases by silencing opposing voices. Anyone around any subject who's seeking to silence opposing voices, there's something in them that's concerned. Even if it doesn't know they're wrong, there's something in them that's concerned that they might be wrong. And oh my goodness, if I'm wrong about this, what else am I wrong about? And so what we have to do is we have to reprogram ourselves for automatic success. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of presuppositions because you have to set the thermostat. Like, there is right now an amount of money that you think of as a lot. Like, not a lot of money necessarily in the world, because we could all say $1 trillion, right? But I'm talking about there's an amount of money that for you feel like is a lot of money. That would be a lot of money for you to have, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I had this money. Or it's the amount of money that if you had it on your person, it would make you nervous. Like, and anyway, by the way, most rich people don't think like that at all. Like, no, I never carry cash. Oh my goodness, it's so dangerous. Right? Okay. Like, rich people don't think like that. Okay. However, so there's an amount of money that you think of as a lot of money for you. So I realized something a long time ago, that is a very expensive thought. That's a very expensive belief. For me to believe that a certain amount of money, a month, a year, a day, an hour, whatever that is a lot, is a very expensive belief. What do I mean? Okay. Seldom will I make as much as, never will I make more than the amount I allow myself to think of as a lot of money. I'm going to say it again. Seldom will I make as much as, never will I make more than the amount I allow myself to think of as a lot of money. And by the way, God did not write on tables of stone in your brain an amount that's supposed to be a lot of money to you. So those beliefs, where do they come from? Like, to some of you, it's $10,000 a month. To some of you, it's 20. To some of you, it's 50. To some of you, it's $100,000 a month. But you have a number that in your mind represents a big number to you. And you will get close to that number, maybe. You might even like break through that number every now and then, but you will never consistently make an amount of money that you think of as a lot of money. That's why, and a lot of people think what I'm doing, a lot of people think I'm flexing when I say, well, we only did like 1.1 million last week, right? Okay, that sounds like a flex, but it's not. What it is, it's a communication to my operating system that says, don't you start thinking that's a lot of money, because if you do, you're stuck like Chuck in a pickup truck, right? And I get it. I'm going to be misunderstood by people who have a different operating system. That is a chance that I have to take and a risk that I'm willing to walk through. Why? Because what they think about me and why I'm doing what I'm doing does not have a negative impact on my outcomes. But what I think about me and about the things I believe can have a negative impact. Like, I charge $40,000 an hour. So here's the first word that comes to some people's mind when I say I charge $40,000 an hour for consulting. He's insane. Well, I might be insane, but I still get $40,000 an hour, even though I'm insane. And I'd rather be insane and get $40,000 an hour than be sane and make $40,000 a year. So I'm not, and there's nothing wrong with making $40,000 a year. I'm just saying, like, my beliefs work for me. They're not, like, God didn't write that in stone on the tables of my heart. Okay, hopefully my heart's not stone. That was not a good illustration at all. Okay, but God didn't say, thou shalt believe that $1 million in a week is not a lot of money. But I have to believe something about something. So one of the beliefs that I have, and I'm gonna wrap it up with this, is I believe it's always a bad idea to approach any new endeavor and assign a level of difficulty before you get started. Well, it's so hard to learn a new language. Oh, it's so hard to learn how to play a musical instrument. Oh, it's so hard to learn how to play golf. Oh, it's so hard to. And so we make up this story, and the reason we make it up is to give ourselves an out in case we don't do the work. So we can say it didn't work. But the problem ain't it. The problem is us. How many of y'all track it? And so what we have to do is we have to reprogram our subconscious mind, because if God be true and every man a liar, then I can always be becoming more than I've been being. Always. Because there is no arrival. There's no there there. There's no there. There is a here though, but there's no there. What does that mean? There's no there. The Apostle Paul said, who by the way wrote 14 books of the 27 books of the New Testament, that's more than half. He said, I count not myself to have apprehended. Well, if anybody has apprehended, it might be the guy who wrote 14 of the, like more than half of the New Testament. I count not myself to have apprehended. What does that mean? I have not arrived, but I press toward the mark of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Oh, so you're pressing toward the mark, even though from the perspectives of the people who are looking at you, you've already surpassed the mark. And that's why it doesn't matter how long the other person's yardstick is. I must not ever measure myself with another man's yardstick. Because some people's yardsticks are going to make me feel smaller than I am, and some of the people's yardsticks are going to make me feel bigger than I am. And either way, at the end of the day, I am just who I am. And so what we have to do is we have to stop trying so hard to make ourselves do something that's against our programming and just recognize the program we have. And if it's not serving us, remove it. And then replace it with a subconscious programming that will serve us at a higher level and give us the ability to serve others at a higher level. So you're all set for what you get. If you want to know like what your internal thermostat is set at, what your automatic pilot, your cruise control is set at financially, relationally, or health-wise, look at the results you're getting. If you don't like that, go back and change the belief systems, the mental syntax, and your physiology, how you carry yourself so that you can operate at a higher level and produce higher results. Hopefully, this video is beneficial and it will help you somewhere in your life, at some point in your life. In the meantime, in between time, stay blessed by the best. We'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.